He in here working. Get back on the mat. Get back on the mat.
Terence Crawford's training has been nothing short of extraordinary as he gears up for his long-awaited clash with Canelo Alvarez. His camp has been intense, and every step of his preparation is designed to take his skills to a new level, knowing that facing Canelo means stepping up to a new challenge.
In terms of you fighting Canelo, did you see opportunities for yourself?
Most definitely.
What kind?
A lot.
The clips from his training sessions show just how hard he's working, focusing on building strength and sharpening his speed. But at this point, it's clear that Crawford is putting in the work. He's showing the world that he's ready to take on the biggest challenge of his career, the fight with Canelo Alvarez.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason.
This fight has been a dream matchup for boxing fans for some time. Crawford has already made history by becoming the first boxer in the modern four-belt era to be undisputed in 2 divisions. His win over Errol Spence in 2023 was one of the most impressive performances we've seen in recent years, cementing his place as one of the best in the sport. But Crawford isn't content with just being great in one division. He's aiming for something even bigger. He's seeking to become the first boxer in history to be undisputed in 3 different weight classes. His target? Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican legend who has ruled the super middleweight division for years.
Go back.
The idea of this fight became a reality thanks to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, who played a major role in making this all happen. Turki's involvement brought the fight into focus, and now, thanks to his efforts, this dream matchup will become a reality in 2025. Crawford had been vocal about his desire to face Canelo in a super middleweight showdown, moving up 2 weight classes from his usual fighting range. After making it clear that he was willing to take on the challenge, Crawford continued to push for the fight throughout 2024, despite the back-and-forth negotiations and disagreements between the 2 sides.
Women at times, but I'm a different fighter. I'm a different type of animal, so we're gonna see.
Canelo, who has already established himself as one of the greatest of all time, didn't jump into the idea as easily. He made it clear that fighting Crawford, who was moving up in weight, wasn't a fight that motivated him the same way as other matchups. On top of that, Canelo raised the stakes, requesting a staggering $150 million purse, which caused a delay in finalizing the fight. The 2 fighters continued to circle each other, with Canelo dominating the super middleweight division and Crawford trying to make his way through the 154-pound division to add more titles to his collection. Still, it wasn't until Turki Al-Sheikh stepped in that everything started to come together, and now the fight is officially on.
If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want $200 million for Benavidez, and he want $150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy.
With the fight confirmed for 2025, the talk around it is reaching a fever pitch. Fans are split on who will come out on top, and opinions are flying from all corners of the boxing world. Canelo Alvarez, despite being the older fighter, still has a strong hold on the super middleweight division, holding 3 of the 4 major belts. His ability to stop opponents with his powerful shots and his experience in big fights makes him a dangerous force. But Crawford, who has proven himself time and again, moving up in weight and taking on challenges, has made it clear that he's not intimidated. Crawford has already proven himself as a master of the ring, but this will be a different test. Canelo's power is something no fighter has taken lightly, and his experience against elite-level competition is unmatched. The way these two fighters match up is what makes this fight so exciting. Crawford's speed and precision could be the perfect counter to Canelo's brute force. But Canelo's ability to wear opponents down with his relentless pressure is something Crawford will need to watch out for. Both fighters have their strengths, and both have weaknesses that could be exposed on the night. Gervonta Davis, who is known for his explosive power, weighed in on the fight during a recent interview. "Canelo is a beast," Davis said, "but Crawford is a different kind of fighter. His ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw is something Canelo has never faced before. It's going to be a challenge for both of them, but I think Crawford has the tools to win." Davis, who has made his own mark in the sport, believes Crawford has the edge in this fight, but like everyone else, he's waiting to see how it plays out. Shakur Stevenson, another rising star in boxing, also shared his take on the fight. "Canelo is a warrior, but Crawford's IQ is something special," Stevenson said. "This isn't just about who's the bigger guy or who has the stronger punch. It's about who can think faster, adjust quicker, and find the openings. Crawford can do that." Stevenson's praise of Crawford's boxing mind echoes what many fans believe is the key to victory: the ability to outthink Canelo in the ring.
From 147 to 168, and the win, become undisputed. Wow.
I want to go up to 6.
In August, Crawford made history by becoming a 4-weight world champion. He defeated Israel Madrimov to win the WBA super welterweight title at 154 pounds, a weight class he'd never fought in before. It was an impressive performance and cemented his place among boxing's elite. This fight was especially notable because it marked his return to the ring after over a year of silence, following his massive victory over Errol Spence Jr. in July 2023. Crawford's stunning 9th-round stoppage of Spence to become the undisputed welterweight champion turned heads everywhere, confirming his spot as one of the sport's top fighters. At that moment, Crawford was at his peak, arguably unbeatable in the welterweight division, and the world had nothing but praise for him.
If you give Terence Crawford the opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez, he's going to come out on top.
He gonna put him on the canvas for the first time in his career. I'm gonna step out and say it, bro. I think he can.
Neither of them is gonna put each other on the canvas because both of them refuse to go down.
But when asked back then if he would ever consider moving up to face Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds, Crawford flatly rejected the idea. "168, I ain't going up there," he said in a clip resurfaced by Sporting News. It wasn't that Crawford didn't believe he could take on Canelo. It was more about the magnitude of the challenge. Moving up 2 weight classes from 154 pounds to 168 pounds isn't something that can be done lightly. There's the obvious physical toll, the risk of facing a fighter who has already cemented his legacy, and the difficulty of trying to dethrone a champion who has ruled the super middleweight division for years.
The 154, and he knows. He knows. Maybe he do in 168 for a big check.
At the time, Crawford seemed content with what he had accomplished. He was riding high on his undisputed welterweight achievement and was preparing to settle into life as a champion in the 154 pounds division. Moving up to 168 pounds to face Canelo, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, didn't seem necessary. There were other fighters to conquer, and Crawford, at least publicly, wasn't interested in challenging himself beyond what was in front of him.
Put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turkey Al-Sheikh calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comments.
But things have changed. Crawford's stance on fighting Canelo has evolved. Now, he's not just open to the idea, he seems desperate to make it happen. What sparked this change? It seems that the motivation behind his decision lies in something deeper than just the titles or legacy. Crawford himself has admitted that Canelo is the primary driving force behind his renewed push for greatness.
I do wonder how effective Crawford can be if he keeps moving up in weight. You know, like you're starting to see that, you know, now he's not quite as strong. The knockout streak is over. But he can box really, really well. But Majimov pressed him the whole fight. So obviously the power wasn't getting the respect that he might have gotten when he was a little at the...
In an interview with the Porter Way podcast, Crawford opened up about how Canelo has become the focal point of his future. He revealed that the potential showdown with Canelo has become his new motivation. To be honest, that Canelo fight was my motivation, he said. If it's all about business, then you doing good business. If I'm easy work, which I heard him say, then if I'm easy work, you know you would make all that money that he's getting offered. But yet still he want $200 million for Benavidez, and he want $150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him and his legacy.
Has the Canelo fight, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you you're still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think business talk, with the right.
These words reflect an interesting shift in Crawford's thinking. He's no longer just thinking about the money or the belts. He's thinking about what it would mean for Canelo to fight him and the potential ramifications for Canelo's legacy. Crawford believes that Canelo sees him as a serious threat, one that could shake his place as one of the greatest to ever do it. Crawford's words are tinged with a bit of bitterness, suggesting that the fear of losing to him, a fighter who started his career at 135 pounds, is what's stopping Canelo from accepting the challenge. It would be crazy for a guy that started at 135 to come all the way up to 168, no catch weight, and dethrone you, so he's got that in the back of his head, Crawford said. It's a big risk for him.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. So let's not do that, Canelo.
It's clear that Crawford sees the possibility of dethroning Canelo as more than just a career-defining moment. He sees it as an opportunity to disrupt what many consider a nearly flawless legacy. And while the motivations are clear, the risk is also very real. Stepping up to 168 pounds to take on Canelo, especially with no catch weight, would be a massive challenge for Crawford, who has never fought at that weight before. The risk of injury, the strain of the weight gain, and the challenge of facing one of the sport's all-time greats are not lost on Crawford. But it's this very challenge that seems to be fueling him.
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason.
Crawford has always had a relentless competitive streak. He's shown that by dominating the welterweight division and then continuing to challenge himself by moving up to 154 pounds. The fact that he's now considering retirement if the Canelo fight doesn't happen only adds to the intensity of his motivation. Man, it's something to talk about retirement. There are things that we talk about, Crawford admitted. Right now, I'm still doing what I do. Canelo has got a fight coming up, so I never want to make it about me and Canelo. But the underlying message is clear. Crawford wants this fight, and if he can't secure it, he may walk away from the sport.
For that fight, it's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because then everybody's gonna say it's too small, and then, he needs to enjoy his fight.
Okay. This statement is a powerful one. It suggests that Crawford's drive to face Canelo has surpassed his desire to just keep collecting belts or titles. For him, it's become about proving himself against the very best, against Canelo, who many regard as the top fighter of his generation. Crawford's competitive fire is pushing him to new extremes, but the question remains, is he ready for the challenge? The journey to 168 pounds isn't easy. The physical toll of moving up that much weight is not something to be taken lightly. Canelo has proven time and time again that his strength, power, and experience at 168 pounds make him a formidable opponent.
The others say, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later.
It's one thing for Crawford to talk about it, but actually stepping into the ring with Canelo is another matter altogether. Moving up to 168 pounds would require more than just physical preparation. It would require a complete shift in Crawford's strategy and mindset. Interestingly, Crawford's wavering confidence in the past has led to speculation that he may be doubting himself. The task ahead is enormous, and even the most confident of fighters can feel the weight of such a daunting challenge.
Terence Crawford came out and said, I would love a catchweight fight at 158 with Canelo, is what Terence Crawford said.
I can't. It's gonna be very hard for me to make that weight. And like, I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and
Crawford may have initially dismissed the idea of fighting at 168 pounds because he wasn't sure he could make it happen. Or maybe because he simply didn't want to risk his undefeated record and legacy. But now, as the fight becomes a reality, we see a fighter who is facing his own doubts head on. It's clear that Crawford is grappling with the enormity of the challenge, yet he's still pushing forward, refusing to back down. The idea of a showdown between these two giants of the sport is tantalizing. However, to make this fight happen, Crawford will have to move up to 168 pounds, which presents a number of challenges. Crawford has never fought at this weight before, and the task of taking on someone like Canelo, already a natural super middleweight, would be a massive undertaking. However, Crawford's confidence and determination cannot be underestimated. If the fight is made, it would mark a significant moment in boxing history.
A big clash with Canelo Alvarez. Can you tell us what's going on in that situation, and can that happen next?
We shall see, you know. Who knows?
That smile's telling me something else, bro. I think it might be on the line, no?
I'm just saying, man. We can't say it's not gonna happen. We can't say that it is. So, you know, let's all just wait and see.
While many boxing fans eagerly anticipate this potential clash, former world champion and two-weight title holder Tim Bradley has made his thoughts clear on the outcome of the fight. Bradley, known for his analysis and outspoken opinions, recently shared his predictions for the bout, and his take on the potential outcome has generated significant attention. Bradley, who is known for his no-nonsense approach to boxing analysis, was quite blunt in his assessment. On his own YouTube channel, Bradley declared that Terence Crawford would emerge victorious in a dominant fashion, claiming that Crawford would beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez. According to Bradley, he was so certain of Crawford's victory that he felt compelled to wake up at 3 a.m. just to study both fighters' styles and break down their potential matchup. Bradley's comments were nothing short of bold.
Well, how can you, a man coming from 147, I know he's a great man. Crawford is a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody can do better.
I woke up 3 a.m. and something told me to study Canelo and study Crawford, he began. Crawford is about to beat the S out of Canelo Alvarez. I'm letting you know right now, he's about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez. Bradley's confidence in Crawford is apparent, but his statement also highlights the significant gulf he perceives between the two fighters. As a former world champion himself, Bradley has the experience to recognize the intangibles that could make a difference in a fight of this magnitude. While Canelo has had success at 168 pounds and is undoubtedly a formidable fighter, Bradley believes Crawford's skill set, adaptability, and technical prowess would prove too much for the Mexican superstar. It's clear that Bradley sees Crawford as the more complete fighter and believes that his abilities in the ring would shine through against Canelo's power and experience.
Crawford-Canelo, is it a competitive fight right now?
Yes, I've actually always thought it was. I don't think Crawford beats Canelo, but I've always thought it would be a competitive fight.
The basis for Bradley's prediction lies in his belief that Crawford's boxing IQ, versatility, and ability to adapt in the ring are unmatched. He points to Crawford's ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw stances as one of his greatest strengths. In addition, Bradley notes Crawford's defensive skills, his ability to move in and out of range, and his precision when it comes to landing punches. Crawford has proven time and time again that he is a master of his craft, and Bradley believes that these traits would be the key to neutralizing Canelo's strengths.
Be a little less. Could be. 150.
150? 150 million?
Yeah.
Let's make sure Terence gets some money out of that too, though.
No, he's gonna get paid too.
In contrast, Bradley acknowledges that Canelo's power at 168 pounds is undeniable. However, he believes that Crawford's superior footwork, defensive abilities, and ring generalship would allow him to avoid Canelo's best shots and dictate the pace of the fight. For Bradley, it all comes down to boxing fundamentals. He sees Crawford as a fighter who is not just skilled but cerebral, someone who knows how to control a fight and make adjustments as needed. This is something that Bradley feels would give Crawford a distinct advantage in a fight with Canelo. While Bradley's prediction is certainly bold, it's not entirely without merit.
Shout out to Timothy Bradley. I'm starting to realize he one of the best hype men we got out there. Because to say that Bud gonna beat the hell out of Canelo, come on, man. We all know I love me some Bud, man. And I got my issues with Canelo, but beating the hell out of Canelo, ain't nobody beating the hell out of Canelo.
Crawford's dominance at welterweight and super welterweight, coupled with his performance against top-level opponents like Spence and Jeff Horn, shows that he has the potential to rise to any challenge. He's a fighter who thrives on overcoming obstacles, and the prospect of facing Canelo could be the ultimate test of his abilities. However, there are still several factors that make this potential fight extremely challenging for Crawford. The jump from 154 pounds to 168 pounds is no small feat, especially when you're facing a fighter like Canelo, who has spent years building his legacy in that division. Canelo is a naturally bigger fighter, and while Crawford is known for his incredible skill and conditioning, the added weight could impact his speed and movement. In addition, Canelo's ability to land devastating punches at 168 pounds is a concern for any opponent, regardless of how skilled they may be.
It happened in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that favor Canelo is that, you know, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do weight.
While Bradley may feel confident in Crawford's ability to handle these challenges, there's still a question of how Crawford's body will respond to the move up in weight. Not every fighter can make the transition between weight classes successfully, and even Crawford's exceptional talents may not be enough to overcome the size and strength advantage that Canelo holds. But Bradley's belief in Crawford's skills seems to be rooted in the notion that Crawford is not only technically sound, but also mentally strong enough to rise to the occasion. As talks for this super fight continue, many are left wondering whether Crawford can indeed pull off what would be one of the most impressive feats in boxing history. Moving up 2 weight classes to face a dominant champion like Canelo would be a monumental task, but if anyone has the talent and mentality to do it, it's Terence Crawford.
Crawford has the balls to be able to do what he needs to do. Crawford is a dog. I'm not gonna say a lion, he's a dog.
For now, fans are left to speculate and hope that an official announcement will soon be made. The potential clash between Canelo and Crawford is one of the most anticipated bouts in recent boxing history, and it's clear that this fight is already sparking intense debate among boxing's biggest names. Will Crawford's brilliance be enough to dethrone Canelo, or will the Mexican champion prove too much for him? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates.